Welcome to Dia Número Cuatro. Yes, day number 4. We're here with the reason number 4 out of the 7 reasons why coaches give up too soon. If you haven't already, once again, I'm always reminding you to go back and check out day number 1, 2, and 3 so far, where we talked about perfectionism, vagueness, and uncertainty. And before I dive into today's, once again, the quick reminder that if you really want to figure out how I can predict a coach's success in business without knowing how much they're making now or if they've ever made any money, go to classwithkat.com and check out the free class where I go over one pattern that allows me to predict the coach's success. So without further ado, and please be ready because today I'm about to put you on the spot. The number 4 reason why coaches give up too soon is inconsistency. Yes, this is huge. And once again, I'm about to call you out. The number 1 thing here is doing things when it's convenient. And over the years, I've noticed something with coaches, and that is that if they feel great, then they're out there crushing it, they're doing amazing things. But if they're not feeling like it, they really aren't pushing themselves. So if you find yourself there, then inconsistency may be the reason why you are considering giving up too soon. So because you're here, you have an advantage. So don't quit, because if you start becoming more consistent with taking action that's aligned with what you're trying to do, I guarantee that you will have results. The number 2 thing is not having a set schedule. This goes hand in hand with the creativity that coaches have. I myself am a very creative person. If I don't have a schedule, I allow everything else to basically come in and fill up my schedule. So if you don't have things written down in your calendar, then you are at the mercy of chance. And I tell you what, there will be other people that have their schedule set, and you're most likely going to show up in theirs. So I invite you to start having intentions for the day. Start looking at what moves the needle in your business and start doing it. Number 3 is unsupportive habits, meaning here's something that's probably not news to you, but stuff like surfing the net or looking on social media. Yes, we could have dedicated times to where we look up things and we get inspired. But if that's something that you do without even thinking about it, that's something that you just roll out of bed into, then you need to take a look at it, because it takes away time that you could definitely invest in having, success in getting momentum and seeing results. Habits like your sleeping patterns. Are you going to bed too late or waking up too late or spending too much time gossiping? Or just engaging in the things that really have nothing to do with your business. And ultimately, it may feel like it doesn't hurt today, but think about it over time. If you were to add that time up, it will probably amount to a lot more than you're giving it credit for. Another thing is leaving tasks unfinished. Now, here's the thing. I am a book reader, and for the most part, coaches, if not for all of them, love to read, love to take courses, love to, listen to podcasts, look at YouTube videos, basically just, gather a lot of information. Now, I know for a fact that time is very finite, at least in this lifetime. So if you're dedicating the time to watching those, you may either not finish watching those, or you may not finish whatever you need to do for work. So if you start a book and you don't finish it, or you start a course and you don't finish it, or you start things, start looking at it and start getting into the habit of finishing it to the end. So maybe today, since you're here, A quick tip. Think about one thing that you want to finish this week. You have, this awareness right now that can set up the wheels in motion, meaning that once you start finishing something, you're going to have this desire to continue to finish that because it feels good. And that can pick up momentum and it can snowball into bigger and bigger things, right? So let's take a look at the last one. Having short periods of focused activity followed by long periods of being on the sidelines. I see this quite a bit. And once again, I'm constantly sharing my stories because I feel this is how I relate to you the most. And I have a lot of stories that are basically similar, but because I know mine the best, I love sharing that with you. I found myself basically, buying something, a course, or like getting into this book, or like hearing about this great thing, and all of a sudden I feel energized, I feel great, pumped up, I'm out there, I'm doing all these things. And truth be told, there is actually there are studies done that show that we only have a 4-day window from the time that we get super excited about something to the time where that momentum starts, that excitement starts to die down. So what we do within those 4 days can, greatly affect the success trajectory. So what happens after also is really important, because once that excitement dies down, what do? Are you disciplined to continue to stick to it, or do you look for something else that will bring you that excitement? And the key here is to start noticing your patterns to see if you do get super excited and you're really pumped up about something, and then once you need to transition into applying that and sticking with it, you're no longer interested by it. So if this is something that keeps you back, I suggest that you take a look at it. It's critical. And just because we talked about patterns, I don't want to forget to invite you once again to take a look at classwithkat.com, and it will show you another pattern that is at the foundation of how or why coaches have success in business. So without making this any longer, what is something that resonated with you today? What is something that made a lot of sense and you just had that aha moment where you're like, yeah, that's me. That's really where I'm at. That's exactly what I'm doing. The reason why we're talking about these things is because I've noticed them, and I've talked to so many coaches over the years that have given up on their dream, but it wasn't because their dream was not going to fulfill them. It was because there were all these little things in there that made them believe they weren't good enough, that they weren't going to make it, that this wasn't maybe their passion. And I'm inviting you, you have this chance, I'm inviting you to take a look at these things and realize that, okay, I'm not alone. Everybody's going through this. I can take today and decide that I'm going to stick with it, and I am going to make it work. You deserve it. I'm here to tell you and to remind you constantly. If it's one thing that I constantly tell people, it's how much I believe in them. And the reason for that is because most often the difference between success and failure is the belief. If you believe something is possible, you're going to make it happen. If you have doubts, however, they will creep in there and they will make you think that you don't have what it takes, or maybe it's not the good thing, or whatever else your mind cooks up. So if you found this, something that inspired you or something that's helped you, please share with a friend, invite them to take a look at this as well, and give me feedback. I really would love to hear what you thought about it and what is one thing that you took away from it.